Huh.
Just for them.
Ooh, solar jays are pretty.
All right. Ready for an airplane.
Yep. We have a female cardinal that lands on one of or two of our little bushes next to our house, and hops on our screen of our window and pecks at our window.
Huh.
Sometimes they peck at the window because they think it's another bird.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's their territory, you know, so they're trying to scare the other bird.
It's been doing that since we lived there.
Oh.
Working over at our editing facility I worked at over at Microsoft had mirrored windows, and like ravens would fly or crows would fly into those. It sounded like somebody had thrown a softball at the window.
Crows are apparently very smart birds.
Well, you'd think they'd avoid the bird that was flying right at them.
They
Very social.
yeah,
They
and
cooperate.
I read a thing about them, like basically kind of finding a human as like a friend. And there was this girl that she like would feed the crow, like this one crow repeatedly, and it would like bring her gifts.
Yeah.
You know, and it was what?
Didn't it like help find her like wedding ring or something, or not like a family ring?
I'm not sure, but it would like steal people's jewelry probably.
Yeah,
I think and then it would like coins and stuff and like drop them off at her, and like give her gifts. Like what? That's crazy.
They like shiny
you know
things.
About the raven or the crow studies at UW, right?
They talk. The ravens can talk.
Sure.
Yeah, they've done studies about ravens being able to identify people by face.
Oh yeah, and they are even able to pass that information between generations.
Yeah.
I do remember that. I didn't realize that happened at UW.
Yeah.
Time for another round of Has Lonnie lived there?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
University of Washington?
Italy.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Lived in Italy for 4 years.
And I have no idea where this one was, but Guernsey?
Ooh.
England?
Yeah,
Guernsey.
Guernsey's off the coast of England.
They've just popped off.
Okay.
But yeah, Guernsey.
In between England and France.
So Lonnie, have you been to Guernsey?
No. Is it near the Faroe Islands?
No.
No.
It's the other side.
Okay, have not.
It's somewhere, that's for sure.
In between England and France.
Is that where the cow came from?
Soon.
That I don't know.
Was that it? For that round?
Yep, that's all the new ones. There's Barbados. Did I ask you about Barbados?
Yes, I've been to Barbados.
Yeah.
I would almost say yes to anywhere in the Caribbean. Except Cuba, maybe. You been to Cuba?
No.
I don't know. I heard the Dominican
That was a
Republic
good guess.
not too good to visit.
Yes, many times.
Why?
Because of all the latest things that have been going on there.
They're in the news
People
for
dying.
a lot of people getting sick there.
A lot of tourists dying.
Ah, I missed that.
It seems to be poisoning.
Or like pesticides in hotel
that's
rooms.
such a great area for a poli-sci major to study, because that's the island of Hispaniola, and half of the island is Haitian, is Haiti, and half is the Dominican Republic. So they very clearly have the same natural resources, but they were both colonized and both have different models of government with very different results.
Right, one flourishing and one in poverty.
Yeah.
Really.
So it's probably a textbook butter and guns kind of thing.
Brian, I'm going to head down in a minute because of our live connect.
Oh, right.
I want to drop my things off. I'll meet you down in the radio room.
Sounds good.
Are you doing it?
I've got a thumb drive to put in.
Yeah, get the thumb drive and put it in there, and I'll pull the picture off in a moment when I hop on down there.
Okay.
It's only 2:40.
If you want to throw the questions up, I can cover that till launch change.
Okay.
I have done this before, and I've done this before, but I've never done this, and I'm not about to start. We were doing a dive once, and we're a training organization, so we had a intern who had been on board for a while
Mm-hmm.
at the Argus position, and she was getting some time to fly Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
And the senior staff Hercules pilot was sitting in the Argus seat, which is right beside me, controlling the winch and other things and providing instruction. And we were in a very benign part of a dive, just following a cable on the seafloor, I think. And he just told me he was headed to take a quick bio break. And so I was doing the winch and maintaining the delta. She was doing the thing. She was super focused. And she asked a question, which was something like, am I too far off the bottom, or how do I manage my altitude? And she turned to look because she was asking him, and she was so focused she didn't realize he had left. And so she looks over, and I'm like leaning over doing the camera and the winch, and she just got this terrified look on her face. It's like the kind of look you would get if you opened up the cockpit door of your plane and saw that there were two badgers flying the plane.
Music actually described that that's what the Department of Commerce guy looked. His
really?
face looked like when he saw the number of fuel tanks in the hull. Yeah.
That's funny. So Lonnie, when you research somebody like this, do you get to the point where just as a human there's a part of you that just wishes this had been a successful flight and he would have realized his full potential and impact on aviation and lived a rich, long life?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I share the same thing.
Absolutely. Well, I bid you all adieu. I'll see you
Adieu.
next watch.
Yes.
Adieu,
Thanks,
adieu,
Lonnie.
adieu.
Au revoir.
See you soon.
Asta.
Later, dog.
Bon voyage.
I wonder how many times Lonnie's been called dog in her life. Once. The one time. Just now.
Excuse me.
Who are you guys doing an interaction with?
I can tell you.
I think the Aerospace Education
Yes,
Center.
I think you're absolutely right. Aerospace Career Education Academy. It's a 30-minute, it's a Q&A.
Yep, and then we have one an hour later with
6:03.
Russ
Oh, that's
of
in
Pan
New
Am.
Hampshire. Yeah, the Pan Am one looks fun.
Yeah, like 100.
That's Russ when
Big
nobody
audience.
else. And I was going to do it, but it's a museum and it's Russ, so I'm like, nah, it's not me.
Russ knows his stuff.
Summer camper, so.
Is that the Pacific Aviation Museum? One?
I think it's the Pan Am one.
Oh, yeah, the Pan Am Museum one. Got it.
Yep.
Cradle of Aviation.
Yes.
Then there's Explorers Club. Ooh.
Explorers Club, is it?
Hoity-toity, as my dad would say. Fancy.
Yeah, that's Madison, I want to say. Madison and,
Maybe. It says in here. Who's been entering the names in the schedule? Have you been doing that? Normally it's not in there.
Oh, no, I just sent an email to
It
Sam.
says requesting Russ, maybe a few others.
Yeah.
It's everybody who's in the Explorers Club on the ship, so
we have 3, 4 you guys?
4, I think.
4, yeah, great.
I don't know how we're all going to fit in there.
You can kind of rotate in and out.
Yeah.
You start with 2 and then swap 1 for 1, and then a little bit later swap another 1 for another 1, and then do your last person, and then kind of do a group wave at the end.
Okay.
Or you can hand headset back and forth for Q&A too.
Yeah, you can stand stadium seating style.
We can help facilitate that.
In about 5 minutes, we get to see either Mike's or Wendy's reaction to Bobby Argus down there.
Oh, yeah.
Stay tuned.
All right, I'm going to head down.
All right, I got you. Oh, did
Yes,
that
yes.
just come in? That big one?
Yep.
All right. So, Renee,
Yes.
we do have somebody writing in with a guess on where the aircraft is. But it's in that long, so. Man, it's freezing over at the SEF position.
Yeah, it's
They're at minus 14.122 by 170.8.
What's
So,
the reasoning?
their reasoning is due to how big the plane is and how it would have drifted with the wind before sinking. This is just a guess. That's all right. That's all we have is guesses. We might have educated guesses, but guesses are guesses.
Guess what I have the time to do.
You want the full that long?
Give me a moment.
They're quite specific.
well, we know that the plane was only from the eyewitness. We know that the plane was only on surface after explosion for about 5 minutes, so it can't have drifted very far with the wind.
The hard part is, you know, witness statements come through a prism before you get them.
Well, that's the truth, but then also our initial location is based on where they were picking up debris from.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Minus 14.1222297.
That's a very.
I know, it's very specific. And then it gets even worse. You just saw that comic about this, right?
Yeah.
Minus 170.802348. That tells you where the right edge of a bolt is.
Yeah.
That's very specific.
All right.
But thanks for sending that guess in. We can't
see
like
where
scoot
this
right
is.
over there, but we're going to see where it is. Did you find it?
No. Oh, did I not put a negative in the 170?
No.
It's entirely possible. I am good at my job. Crash survey.
No.
thanks,
Yeah.
viewer.
Thanks, viewer.
God.
Man.
Now I have to fix this.
All right, watch change.
Just bring up a blank screen.
Nav, we have a target.
I like.
Yeah, it's a plug-in. Yeah. Yeah. For system management, it's super helpful. Here's your relief. No, I was telling Rennie that. It's like, welcome to the party, pal. We just killed your program. Good luck.
Damn. I mean, darn it, viewer.
Really? That's because you got those wonky numbers and...
What if it's actually like a hexadecimal code to cause a buffer overflow and hijack our entire program?
No more viewer responses. No more viewer hack codes.
I actually got to do that for one of my classes, CSE 351.
Really?
So like, basically in old programs that were not very well protected, they in areas that like ask for an input string, you can actually like insert something so long that it overwrites part of the computer's buffer, and then in the stack, which is like this like basically like designation of like how it stores memory, and then cause it to actually run either code that you insert or cause it to skip to an entirely different part in its code. Modern computers are much better at preventing this. so we had like simulated computers that like we got to like mess with and try and like hack, but that was a lot of fun.
I don't
Yeah. It's also a hard class, but it was really cool.
Peyton, what's the hardest class you've had so far?
What is happening?
I think CSE 311, which I took this last quarter, it's like discrete mathematics and logical propositions. It was really dense, I guess. Yeah, I did fine in the class in the end, but it definitely was the one that I was the most stressed about.
Right. Seems to me there's a lot of stress among students these days.
Yeah. It's still very focused on performance. Even in, I guess, settings where we really don't have to be as much. One of my friends, Natalie, has this really good saying that, like, you know, the most important thing is learning. And so she evaluates how she does based on, like, whether or not she's learning and whether or not she remembers the content later, which I think is really smart. But
Right.
it's easier said than done.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the parroting school of teaching and learning.
Yeah.
And I also get, I'm fortunate enough in that I can have that attitude because I test really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could take the, you know, plumber's license tomorrow and probably pass it.
Yeah.
I can infer what the test writer
Yeah.
was looking for.
I've definitely had to build that skill up, but like I think I've gotten better at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty impressive, Ed.
Well, it's not because it makes you kind of a, I don't know. It changes how you learn. Like if you're doing a class where that's really what they're trying to get you to do, to be able to pass a test, it's hard to retain attention then because it's like, I could pass the test today.
Mm-hmm.
They did away with challenging classes in my high school because of that.
Hmm.
She's in there.
She went down to do that interaction at 4. She's had enough. She's like,
All right.
bye. Oh, that's okay. Thanks, so.
Somebody said, GG, that was a Konami code to crash the mapping software. Just kidding. What just happened with the viewer coordinates?
We're
Well,
watching
we,
it in
we
here.
kind of nuked those.
Go like right up and then come back down. Yeah. Like 20 something knots.
Video's off com.
Oh yeah, so just for the record, Rennie just crashed high pack twice.
You know, that could have been on your bingo sheet.
It could have, but I would be too afraid that I was going to be the one to crash it.
And twice? Wow, man.
Yeah, twice in a row.
Something in the sonar off the left. We'll see it in the side scan.
Oh, Dan changed it. It was unnecessary.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Oh.
Still counts, I think.
Oh, it definitely still counts. She just admitted to sleeping in.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, she just said that.
This is going so well for bingo. Already.
Man, when I woke up, I was like, it could just be me. I could just go right back to sleep.
I could not sleep last night. I was up at 12 watching the feed.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know what it was.
If anything's going to put you to sleep, it'd be that.
And yeah, now I feel like I could sleep. So that was a really bad trade-off.
Even though I was really tired, I didn't fall asleep very quickly last night.
Yeah.
I didn't get any sleep last night. It was terrible.
Really?
Do you think it has to do with the new lines we're doing, and now we're like rocking the other way?
Yeah, it was the roll, and it wasn't much, but it was keeping me up.
Yeah, same.
Huh.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm gonna put this back on 10. Or 50 rather.
Yeah, yesterday night I really wanted to do my meditations and like all that stuff before going to sleep. It was impossible.
You got any more of these things?
Dum, dum, dum.
High pack color change?
High pack color did change.
Oh man.
They changed the color on that within seconds of the watch change.
They changed it to a fully purple scheme.
Weird
and
purple.
Now it's back to
green and gray.
Green and gray. We'll change that. Bridge nav. Request we hold position. Thank you.
The color of things on HiPAC is like this passive aggressive war you've got going on.
No one has said anything. Like between watches, no one mentions it. They just come in and change it.
It's freaking amazing.
They had the screen switch. They had my DP on the left and the sonar on the right.
You know you can change that, right?
Yeah, I mean I changed it back.
Oh, okay.
But I was not okay with that.
Oh, I see. You did change it back, yeah.
You weren't okay with it?
I think it was because Dan wanted to look at the DP.
Oh, yeah.
So we're about 550 meters behind. Oh, I need to increase the track. It's back down to 10 seconds. Usually go with about 10,000. And while we're at it, what's the color scheme for watch?
Yeah, that's right.
I got to pick yesterday, so it's up to you guys.
I think.
Do we have a pink ship?
Yeah, we.
What was the color scheme of Pan American Airways?
That's a solid question.
The what?
Of the.
I'm not sure. It was all
Am.
black and white photos.
If we want to find the plane, we gotta be the plane.
The model was like orange and something, isn't it?
It was there was orange on the top of the plane, the wing.
But that was just the model of plane. The
yeah, I don't know if that was.
No, it did. The colors are the same.
Okay.
In the model, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go with pink because.
What?
No, we had the.
It was brought up yesterday.
Suggestion for pink. Was it Moira that brought it up?
That's the best we can do.
No, I said that because it'd just be hysterical.
Oh, and then she supported it. Yeah. And then we were all confused about painting the ship that color.
Right. Yeah. That whole discussion, and then someone actually volunteered to contribute money to painting the ship that, but then we realized they just meant that.
Yeah. Alrighty. We're on our way.
Excellent.
This has been a very large rock.
Now the world's right. Right again.
Coffee beans?
Oh, yes, please. Oh, wow. It's a good stash.
This is great. Thank you so much for the beans.
Well, now we're looting Trevor's stash.
We had permission for that, though.
Oh, they're not as good then. If we had permission.
Oh, yeah. What makes them so sweet is the moral dilemma.
This is going to change everything.
Are we stealing this coffee beans? Are they legit?
No, these are legit.
Awesome. Thank you.
So how many countries or continents do we have listening?
Same. Okay, countries. We have the US, Canada, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Germany, Turkey, Sweden, New Zealand, Italy, Finland, Spain, Denmark, Brazil, yay!
All right, there's
Bermuda and Barbados.
That's excellent.
So we have 15 countries. We have people in North America, South America, Europe, and Asia.
Still stuck on 4.
And we have New Zealand too.
Oh, that's 5.
Yay.
5, we need 6.
Yeah. Well, we need Antarctica or Africa.
We need Africa.
So, I'm not sure which is more likely. Have we ever seen anyone from an African country, like South Africa maybe, or anything? I don't...
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, that's cool. And they're not ones that we hear very often. No, it's like late afternoon. Because it's like 11 a.m. East Coast time, so over in Africa and Europe, it's like late afternoon. They're basically on the, or at least Western Africa's on the dateline.
I just realized I was forced talking to the bridge the entire time.
Poor Martina.
I'm so sorry.
The thing is, I can still hear you, so I was like, I don't know why you're not talking to SPL, but whatever, I'll just answer you anyway.
Yeah, that's... Oh, I feel bad.
Sometimes they listen to SPL up there for some reason. I'm like, God, that would get annoying if I were trying to drive a boat.
Yeah.
Well, you're going like...
Oh, coffee beans are just coffee beans, toasted, and covered in chocolate. So if you guys don't have them in Europe, you should get them because they're really, really good.
I'm pretty sure they have them
in
Europe.
They do. They must have.
I find they're hard on my stomach.
Mix some of the Italian coffee with the Swiss chocolate.
Oh. Actually, I think Swiss chocolate is all imported. And it's mostly imported from Ecuador. Well, that's what they tell us.
Oh, yeah.
That was a siphonophore.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Did we just run over a siphonophore?
It looked
like it.
To grow
Kind of looked like it.
Can we rewind the video?
If you're watching at home, you can rewind and let us know.
Please.
You can ask our data logger.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a solid hit.
She thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was a siphonophore that went right up to the main camera.
That's good enough.
I didn't see it in our other Argus cams.
I was sitting here saying, oh, we're never going to see a siphonophore down here.
Oh, we've seen a couple.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So look at this already.
This is going so
We're going to nuke this bingo. And then the only one we need is not a sea cucumber, not a rock.
Oh, we can do that.
We can do that.
Well, doesn't siphonophore count?
Yeah, but
no,
we had
that was another bingo square.
We had specifically.
That's a 2-for-1.
I mean, that was a polychaete worm right there.
Gotta be better than
no,
that.
didn't we also tack on bigger than a bread box onto that one?
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can't fit in
Yes,
there.
we
Yeah.
did.
Extra challenge.
I can't figure out that down too.
Those are quite long bingo.
Sorry.
So for the
quantifiers.
people following us, we started a bingo yesterday, and we actually have included some of the
I actually
suggestions
thought this was going to be
from
pretty
the
difficult
audience.
to get, and now.
This one's just bang.
Yeah.
Find a piece of airplane right now, we win.
Yeah. Well, we win on a lot of levels. Let's do that.
That's yeah.
Come on, guys, buckle down and do it.
We just have to work harder.
Exactly. We have to scan harder.
And the plan is also always after the mapping is complete, we'll send Herc for further exploration, right?
Ideally, that is the plan.
Okay, perfect.
So if people at home want to play along, there's bingo sheets on the Nautilus website, right? They can download one of those, or
you make your own custom bingo
I think
sheet.
in the learning.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many of those rely on Herc, but
I think a lot of them do, but yeah, in the on the website with a lot of the other educational resources, there are bingo sheets.
Oh, that's awesome.
The reason we created our own was because a lot of those are Herc dependent for up close dives looking at biology and geology as opposed to our side scan right now. So we created this bingo card and read a bunch of them out in the last 12 hours. So if you want to play our bingo, you can rewind and write down whatever we wrote down.
or feel free to make up your own squares like we did up here.
it's a sea cucumber and a rock.
That's useless.
I think most times we've seen sea cucumbers, we've also seen rocks.
Yeah.
You guys, does New Zealand count as Australia?
Do they think they count as Australia?
No, they were asking,
you mean, well, so there's kind of two answers. When you're counting like the 7 continents, it does, but geologically it's not part of the Australian continent.
So what continent are they part of?
Well, like, I mean, Samoa, for example, is a volcanic island chain. It's not part of a continent.
Okay.
But you would count it as like, well, Oceania. I guess, I don't know if you would count it in any of them. I mean, like, geologically, India isn't part of Asia because it was its own plate that smashed into it, but now we count it as part of Asia because, so tectonically, there's different answers. But I think Australia and New Zealand are considered part of the same continent when we talk about the general 7 continents.
Bridge, no.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Of course we track a line.
I mean, Australia is the only country that spans that covers an entire continent and is the entirety of a continent.
Oh, we have someone from South Africa. Yay!
Oh, that's awesome. Hey,
welcome.
wait, that's 6.
Do we have any? Wait, no.
We're
Do we have
waiting
6
for
continents?
you.
That is amazing.
Okay, so we have North America, we have South America, we have Europe.
We don't have Asia right now.
Oh, who logged
Africa.
off?
Oh, the people from Asia signed out.
Oh, no.
Welcome to South Africa.
South Africa is so exciting.
Let's keep an eye on that, though.
Come on, Asia.
It is nighttime there.
So if you guys have friends in Asia,
Wake them up.
Just stay up
wake up them, wake them up, and ask them to sign in.
Well, we should say hello to whoever's out there in South Africa watching.
Please stay on.
And people in South Africa, we love you and we want you here.
Shark Week hotspot.
Oh yeah.
And for the people that just signed in, we are in the exploration NA111 for the search of the Pan American flying boat Samoan Clipper that sunk in January 11, 1938. The images that you're seeing in channel 1 are the return from our side scan sonar. In channel 2 you can see what our ROV Argus camera is showing, which is not much right now. Some rocks and pelagic sea cucumbers.
Oh, somebody said something about reconnect Herc
little
a minute ago.
crustaceans.
Yeah, that was me. I think that I wrote that down meaning
And
actually.
on the quad, you'll
actually do
see
it.
some of the bathymetry and the lines we're following with the boat to scan the area.
A hot pink is us.
Yeah, the hot pink is us. Have we gotten anyone from Antarctica or the Arctic at some point? Do you know?
Before? I don't know.
Don't know.
I would think most people in Antarctica would be on like scientific, research spaces that may not have the best internet connection.
Maybe it's a little bland down there.
Oh, that's true.
Our very own
So we
Gabby
have
is
someone
down
from
there
the
a lot.
Philippines, but that gets routed through the west coast.
Should we count that?
Welcome. Let me see.
Oh, look at that.
Yay.
Someone just showed up.
Okay.
From Asia?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, so we have North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and New
Welcome
Zealand.
if you're in Asia.
Let's count it.
Sounds like 6.
We have 6.
That's great.
Excellent.
If you're from Brazil, please stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Thank you to anyone who called their friends in Asia.
Yeah.
So anyone from these countries we're talking about, if you go to the Ask a Question page on, I think it's still underneath the video feed, write in and let us know what you're up to. Glad that you logged on and that you're watching.
Oh, I just realized I do have friends in every continent except Antarctica right now.
You could, some of your friends could end up and go to Antarctica, right? Do you
Yeah,
guys ever go to,
yeah, the Polar Star
Yeah.
it breaks out the channel and resupplies McMurdo Station every year.
Cool. Yeah, I don't think, actually, I know someone in South Africa, so I think I know someone, like not well, but like, yeah.
I have a couple classmates that are traveling around by ship to different coastal areas, and then I have a friend in Liberia.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, we have someone from Sweden in Thailand now.
Awesome.
Hi, welcome. Okay, now that we have all sorts of countries, languages, and continents, what happens with the bingo?
We just marked down a square that says
Wait,
viewers in 6 continents.
That was a square?
What is it? What?
Was it actually a square? Viewers in 6 continents?
I thought we made it
Yeah,
one.
oh yeah, that was a square.
Okay, good. We marked it down.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured.
That was a great square and a challenging one to get.
Aren't people supposed to be keeping track of Rebecca's typing? Or did we not put that as a square?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
is
yeah.
that one?
Yeah, Rebecca makes a typo. So,
oh yeah, it didn't get written in there.
Oh, it didn't get written in.
Oh, then okay, well then we haven't lost
I thought
anything.
it was.
Still, if you're a big fan of grammar,
Thanks.
check those most recent log entries and
Oh my god, that's
let
funny.
us know.
I thought it was in there. Are you sure?
I don't know, I'm not looking at it.
Good.
Yeah, I don't see it.
It's funny, the first watch of that we did together, we were all fairly quiet, and it's become one of the funniest watches. It's great.
Oh yeah,
we were all
talk
really
for
quiet the
like,
first
hour
watch.
and a half.
Yeah.
That being said, it was a 4 to 8, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Or no, it was a.
No, I just mean
the
the
first
our
watch we
first
had
watch.
did not Didn't go
yeah,
well.
the first.
Well, also that, yeah.
Watch.
Oh, right, yeah, we had to come back. Fix
Yeah,
things all night.
also that.
Yeah.
We also didn't know each other yet.
Then the watch after that, it was like, I think just it was 4 a.m. and it took us a while to wake
we were
up.
tired.
Yeah. Yeah, you take a second. You can't just come into new groups and new situations and put all of yourself out there at once. It'll scare people like that. You gotta ease into it.
It's hard to say when the mapping will be completed, but I can assure you that we are as eager as you are.
The mapping will be completed when we find the plane. Kind of.
Did they only do one line since?
Yep.
So these lines are about a watch long.
Whoa.
They're longer.
Yeah, they went. So they went
Okay.
down during 8 to 12, came back up 12 to 4, and we're about to go back down.
I thought we got another one. Close to that one. That would have been a great square because that comes up all the time. It's like kids in the back of the car. How much longer?
Are we there yet?
Yeah. Are we there yet? Was a square. That would have been a good square.
Yeah. All things to think of. We should write them down on the side so we don't forget.
Future bingo.
So how many hours of
That's a great
side
idea.
scan sonar do we have now?
Oh man.
Record-breaking,
It
probably.
might be.
Over 56.
Well,
So yeah,
that might
you're
even
right.
be record-breaking for Herc dive, for like a dive in general.
For, yeah, dive overall.
Oh yeah, isn't that one?
Oh, we got
yeah,
Argus 80 hours plus. Are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
It was like 0900
Let me, yeah.
GMT on the 15th.
0924 in the water.
On the 15th.
On the 15th. What's today? The 18th. And it's 6 hours after that. I can't do math. How many days? That's 3 days?
So that's 96, right? Plus. Is it? Are we already at 4 days?
Well, no,
3 days is.
It's 2 full days, so that's 48.
Finish the 15th, finish the 16th, finish the 17th, plus a little bit.
15, 15 and a half.
So that's 72 plus 6.
Whoa, we're getting
78. This watch.
Sure, we'll get there by
We'll
the end of the
we'll
watch.
get to 80 plus. How did we time? Wow, we timed that really well.
I think even if we.
The numbers just always work for us.
Yeah, we're guaranteed to get that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Even if we come up right now, we still get it.
So that's also going to be the longest dive, the longest ROV dive from Nautilus.
Yeah, it's apples and oranges though. I don't think you can compare Herc dives to Argus dives.
Yeah.
Herc's got way more things that go wrong with it, and it usually gets filled up with rocks. That's why we have to come back.
Intentionally filled up with rocks.
Yeah, I'm just imagining like all these rocks just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, we're sampling that.
But we still really don't, like, we don't have any real data on what the longest dives are.
Oh yeah, we're guesstimating.
It's mostly people's memory.
We have data, but I mean, I didn't pull it. I just pulled it out of my head. But the Herc one is like 76 hours, I think.
Okay.
It's an Ocean Networks Canada dive from a couple of years ago. Most likely a seismometer, sure.
So do you think that's longer than the longest Argus dive?
It was to my knowledge, but it's
Yeah, the longest Argus dive had been 56 hours.
yeah,
or so.
but we're blowing that out of the water.
Yeah.
We're really getting into the turn now. If you want to change files.
No, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, to the turn file. Sorry, right. Thank you.
So we expect to finish the new lines that we decided to do yesterday. How long would it take to finish them?
We've got So there's like 5 lines, wow. So 5 lines times 4 is 20 hours to finish these, and then there's more to the south, so another, say 12 to 16 hours for those. I don't think, we just put in a bunch of lines. I don't think we're gonna do all of them. I think tomorrow, probably, barring any other amazing discoveries, we're probably gonna use Argus only to do some target IDs and check out target 30 and 31, and maybe the one from last night if we can get up there.
Cool.
So, obviously I still need to talk to the team about that, but that's kind of been in my head, like, we'll survey unless there's something very obvious that we want to dive on until, like, the last day, and then we'll just do some target IDs for ground truthing and just to check them out.
Okay. So yeah, as you can see, we cannot give you a strict, like, concise answer of when the mapping will be completed. That's how science works.
Yeah,
right?
just keep in mind that we're not looking to map a specific sized area. We're looking for something specific on the seabed. So
exactly.
It's not so much when we're done with the mapping. It's more when we find what we're looking for.
Thanks for being with us, being patient with us.
Bridge now.
Thanks for following us from Spain, and good luck with your ATPL.
Thank you.
The wind's down to 1 knot. That's crazy.
I don't understand. They said they got hit by a pretty good squall.
Yeah, well, you can see the spike. It was like an hour ago. They got hit by 25 knot winds.
Nice.
And then it's down to 1 knot. It's just crazy. Because I walked outside and I was like, it's still.
Yeah, but everything was soaked.
It's soaked, yeah.
Bridge now. You can change heading as needed to get set up for the next line. Yeah, a little bit of ways, but no wind. We are currently changing heading, turning to starboard.
On the 8 to 12 watch, I saw they figured out how to do an offset on high pack, so they could get Argus more on the line than the ship.
Oh yeah, I saw them doing that. Well, I mean, we could easily just like go off, but I think it looked like Argus was already way far off. Like they had to do it even to keep it anywhere close.